Alright, if I'm sneaking around this way, I can start with a flash to get myself around this corner, aiming somewhere around here, above and to the right of this, the top of this exposed brick. Somewhere around there, just do. Peek pretty close to this wall so I don't flash myself. And I'll flash the site and anybody, just about anybody who could be looking where I'm coming from. Okay, to molly the safe plant, I'm aiming right about here, just on the left side of this downspout, about the height of this mark or somewhere in between. So bounce it off the wall there, get it next to this box so that if the bomb's planted here, it'll molly this guy off of here, or if it's planted here, same thing. And a couple of nades. Can aim below the downspout a little bit, somewhere around there is fine. And that'll get around this box here, where if the bomb's planted here, that'll do some good damage to him, or if it's back here, it'll do some damage. I can throw it a little bit further than that too. Or I can aim right about here. Aim right about that mark, somewhere around there. And so if the bomb's planted here, obviously I can throw a little damage to that guy if he's trying to defuse. And it does like 10 or 15 damage to this guy back there too. Okay, this next spot I'm throwing stuff from is sliding along the wall till I get to about here, right where I can see about half of this cross beyond that corner in front of me. So lined up like that, boom, I'm in the spot. And from here, I'll aim right about here, just to the right of this line, and then up to the upper wire, run forward and jump throw after my crosshair passes the lower wire. And this is to molly the safe plant. So if the bomb's planted here, it's going to burn this guy off of this spot, or if it's planted here, same thing. And some flashes I can do from here. I want to flash for a teammate who's pushing up ahead of me that I want to make sure I don't flash him. I'll aim above this spot here, up to just below halfway between these wires, no lower for this one. And for this one, I'm aiming to the right of that rafter. This is for flashing for myself, where I'm not worried about teammates. Same thing, halfway, just a little bit below halfway between the wires, and no higher this time. Lower is fine. So here, no lower than that. Here, no higher than that. You see one flashes quite a bit more spots, and the other one doesn't flash my teammates until they come way out here looking this way. Okay, running underhanded jump flash, I can aim right about here on this part of the underside of the O. Just run forward a little bit, mouse to jump flash, and follow it in. And I could throw it a little bit softer than that, but if I want to do it perfect every single time, I just aim right about here to the right of this mark here. Shift walk forward till after this cross it goes past the corner, leaves my screen, and maybe like a 1/10 of a second beyond that too. And that'll be perfect every single time. About as good as you can do. Okay, what's next? Smokes. Oh, there's one more flash I can do. Just aim right about here for the bounce off that roof there. Flashing my teammates are pushing up ahead. I'm not going to flash them till they're like up around this corner looking the wrong way. But if these guys are on site, they'd be flashed by that. Including back here. Everywhere except for right behind these barrels behind this box. Pretty much everything else is flashed by that though. Okay, smokes. Can smoke the side steps by aiming just below the vent to the bottom of this line right here. And jump throw. That's going to block off this side. And make it tough for him to use these boxes against me in any real way. Doesn't give him anything to hide in. And I can smoke off pit by aiming right about here, just to the right of the top of this line, and this little spot I can see on my screen. I don't know what you can see, but I aim there, stand, jump throw. Aim about there. And that'll put it in a spot where it's never going to leave a gap on this side. Oh, I don't think it will it? No. It looks like this on this side, and this is what it looks like to pit. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Okay, the next spot I'm throwing stuff from is lined up just like this here. Where the edge of this gate in the background, right here, this thing, is, I can just see it past the corner of this wall right in front of me. So just about like that. It's the perfect lineup. Okay, from here I'm going to aim just below this little dash here, right somewhere about just above that bullet hole, somewhere around there. Maybe a tiny bit to the right of the dash. That's to smoke the side steps. And to smoke the pit, I'm aiming right about here. Just between this mark up here and the top of that lower roof. So right about there on the edge of the building. So yeah, I'll do this one first, I guess. So I can look at this one before that other one comes up. That doesn't show anything on this side. This is what it looks like over here. And what it looks like to pit. Same smoke over here as well. Okay, I can also molly the safe plant from here. Aim at the middle, the top middle of this, up to above the wires. Run forward, jump throw after my crosshair gets below the lower wire. Same thing for mollying the safe plant. Okay, so on to the flashes, same kind of flashes. For a teammate, I'll aim over here, and up to the midway point between the rafters, no lower than that. For myself, aim here up to between the midway point between the rafters, really no higher than that. So for teammate, boom. For me, kaboom. And these can be perfect. Okay, and running underhanded jump flash, just aim underneath the end here. And do the same thing again. That's that one, or the perfect one is back in the spot, aiming right about here. To the left of this thing, and then to the right of that little line there, somewhere around there is good. Shift walk forward and jump throw before I see the last bit of the gate. Go away behind the corner there. I can't explain it, but you see what I'm doing. And this way to be perfect every time. And the yellow roof flash, just a little bit wider this time from this spot. Somewhere around there is perfect. Same one, just about. Maybe it's not quite as good for me, but it's basically the same. Alright, if I'm in the library, the only thing to do is to flash my way closer. And I'm crouching at the bottom of this mark here. Crouch walk forward and push it on that. Doesn't flash everything perfectly, but like it doesn't get this angle perfectly or this angle perfectly, but it's about as good as I can do. Okay, for Moto, aim right about here. Below the corner of this pillar and down to the right a little bit maybe. And just throw a molly. And that'll take care of, if bomb's planted here, it'll molly that off. The bomb's planted here, same thing. Can't really guarantee that it's going to always get this perfectly every time. Maybe you can aim like that. Maybe that'll do a better job. I don't know. Probably. Okay, for nades, I'll aim either here at the corner of this pillar or here, somewhere on the edge of the pillar here by the top of the box. For this one, I'll just step forward a touch. For this one, I just throw, depending on where the bomb's planted. I guess I can put one behind that box a little bit better by doing the same thing as the molly. Maybe run a little more forward than that. I don't know, about like that, I guess. Okay, for the BackSite, aim just above the top of this darker brick, the one that's kind of by itself up there. Run forward, bounce it off the top of that pillar, and towards the BackSite here. It's going to always spread back here. Maybe 50% of the time it'll spread there. One more way to molly there. I'm just going to aim just to the left of this little dot right here, using my desktop view model to line it up with the pointy bit of my lighter. right there. If you use a different view model, I'm sure you can find some mark on that wall to line up with. It's guaranteed to 100% burn back there every time. It usually burns here like 85, 90% of the time, but no guarantee. The RNG, I just can't beat it here. Okay, onto the flashes. Start with a crouch walking flash where I aim right about here, just above the middle of this white brick. Crouch walk forward till I get just a little bit past that line on this door here, and then jump throw. And I can peek that, however, I'm not going to flash myself. Pretty much, anyway. Same thing as before, flashes most stuff, not everything. Okay, flashing back here, let me aim at this mark, run forward, jump there when I get to about there. A little bit earlier or later is fine, just not too far, not too much later. And that pops over top of the upper roof. And if I aim right about here, right on this little cross there, and just regular throw, that'll pop over top of that lower roof and be a one way for me. Yeah, I think that's all of them.